ourselves, huh?
We're on.
How about that?
I don't know what to say now.
We're talking to the microphone for crying out loud.
I don't know what to say now. We're on.
Listen to the guy, the way he sounds. Louder, please.
Okay.
Your
There you
listening
go. How's
audience
that?
wants to hear.
All right. You know, I did change the oil before I came over here.
Oh, that's why he's a mess.
Yeah.
Ed Ocampo.
Yes.
Good
15
afternoon.
Paul
minutes.
Kandera,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Urban Urbano,
Yeah.
on San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network. You think I failed the other day at what I was doing? Now I have United. United is with me today. And they're just a mess. Here we are. We're talking about a lifelong of music. Paul Kandera, how long has it been, man?
Since what?
Drum roll.
Oh,
Urban.
a little over 50 years. I know that.
50 years, right?
Over 50, yeah.
And you've known Urban since when? Y'all were actually born together at the same time, but as neighbors, right?
We have funny stories for you.
Yeah? We'll soon see.
I was born in England, and I'm English. My mom married my stepdad, who was in the American Army. That's how I got to San Antonio. Now, when Urban's dad was stationed in England, he went to school in England, and I went to school in England.
And he married your mother, too.
But we didn't meet there.
Okay. You didn't meet, so what was the end result?
We weren't driving yet.
Louder,
So
please.
We might have crossed paths, but we didn't know.
You weren't driving yet. You might have crossed paths, but what?
We didn't know.
No. We actually started, playing the music together 1967.
And
Pre-United, before United.
Pre-United. What were y'all called then, Urban?
We had a
Blind
band.
Line.
Yep.
Do you remember?
Colonel Tyke and his medicine show and musical band.
mic up a little higher.
Yeah.
And what else?
Yeah, the blind light.
The Blind Leading the Blind, I think is what that one was called.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. That's a little better.
Yeah, okay.
Hey Ed, since you invited us on a couple weeks back, I've kind of thought about things like, well, what are we going to talk about? You're going to ask questions, whatever. But
No.
okay, no more questions.
Yes, I am.
Ed, no more questions, please.
I
We're
was
going to have
not
audience
prepared.
participation soon. What's that?
I'm not prepared for questions, but I
Is
do
it
have
too
stories.
early or too late?
You know?
I'm just curious. Is it too early or too late?
I don't know for what.
For questions, for crying out loud.
Okay.
It's both, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't get a joke that I've said thus far, but everything's fine. He's cool, calm, and collective. By the way, I ran into Urban Urbano right down the street off of Santerra at a Mexican restaurant, and we had to throw down a little pachanga. We had a talk there with your son. I believe your son
That's
was there
right.
too, right?
Ian,
And what happened? I mean, I walked in, I saw your back turned towards me, and I saw that hair and that head, and I said, no, that's Urban Urbano. I went up, tapped on your shoulder, you turn around, you go, hey, Eddie.
I remember that. That was great timing.
That was great, wasn't it?
It sure was.
And we both had the same thing, I think, just taco.
And
Couple
yeah,
tacos each.
it was like meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be, and your boy was there.
Yeah, so he got to see everything.
Yeah, he got to see the whole thing go down. We hadn't seen each other, and he had just gotten in from Washington, right?
Yeah, Washington, D.C.
I was the
Yeah,
first person to actually greet him back home, right?
correct.
Isn't that wild? I
I've been
can't
busy.
make up a story like this, guys. He's a friend of mine, but we don't make stories up like that.
Yeah, I was really busy moving in. There was a lot to do, It was worse than wet toilet paper.
Well, you were telling me you've been like that the whole year. You just now settled into where you're just always gigging, right?
Yes, I'm staying busy, so
Now, who are you
that's.
playing with presently? Because we know United.
I know that I just
Your
did
history.
last Wednesday with my brother Jay Urbano, and then let's see, played with West Side Horns and Drifters of Victoria. I've been kind of busy, kind of doing.
Drifters of Victoria. Now, we talked a little bit about that. I mean, I never knew that there was such a big hit.
Well, they were of the dance hall circuit. They were like top dog, and so a lot of good things happened. Big crowds, 1,000 people, 2,000 people.
Kind of
Yeah, made great friends. a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
Back this off just there.
Back it off. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's doing
So-
great, but I
so-
just
but-
don't want to.
But let me tell you, I want to talk about Paul, what we were doing way back in.
Yeah, by all means, let's talk about Paul.
Okay.
Let's pick
Maybe
on him.
this is like, do you remember when? Paul,
Oh, good.
do you remember when we had to get on the top of my car and it was raining so much and then it stopped raining? Actually, the beginning of the story is we went out on Pew Road and Highway 90 before it was even paved. And we were out there drinking and it was
remember
raining.
that.
And we were just out there smoking and drinking. And
No way.
raising hell. There was no roads, just Highway 90 going east and west, one lane. And so we were out on Pew Road, about a mile in on Pew Road. We said, we got to get out of here before more rain comes. So we turned around, started headed back, and all of a sudden, it was mud on the windshield. We couldn't see nothing.
I think it was a dirt road at the time.
Yeah, it was.
They were all dirt roads.
It wasn't
Chuck Lynn
paved,
and Mike,
but
crying out loud.
it wasn't paved.
I give him a chance to.
No,
Hey, you jump in anytime.
It's all right.
all of it.
And so the windshield wipers quit working. So, and we had plenty of beer. So we had our girlfriends with us.
Dad, God, who wants for more?
Oh man, it was like right out of the
rainy
movies.
night?
And so
Cool, closer, baby.
we had to stand on top of the car and pee and get the windshield wipers going so we could make it to the road because there was no way we could see what was going on.
Who wants to see?
We
So what
needed to see.
Yeah. You had
Because
to.
we were
Oh, no.
Well, anyway, it got us out of there. Beer and peeing on the windshield got us out of a bad thing.
That's
You
got to
remember
be
that,
the
Paul?
most memorable, silly moment.
Yes, sir.
Did I say it right? Does it sound right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then there's a story.
Dirt
Listen,
road, rain,
Yeah.
mud on the windshield. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
remember
a
that.
story, man. Should have written a song about that.
Hey, you know
Call
what?
it
That's
Mud on the windshield.
Call it peeing on the rain. Peeing in the rain.
you can get away
on the
with it
windshield,
now.
no less. Yeah, that
That's
would
a
be
good
like
idea,
a.
Paul.
Yeah,
That'd be
mud
a
on
waltz.
the windshield.
There you go.
That's that's
Mud
that
on
would
the
be-
tires. Mud on the road.
Hey, you write a whole bunch of songs, Paul.
Pardon me?
You write a whole bunch of songs. He
write
doesn't remember, ladies and gentlemen. He has no idea
No,
he's
no.
even here. You're here
The
today,
mics are
Paul.
so bassy. It's like,
Oh, don't worry. Oh,
maybe it's my. I have a lot of hearing damage. But yeah, I
Can
mean,
you see me?
I can't see worth. You know what? My
His
pres-
hearing and he's blind both. Anyway,
my prescription glasses are over there. These are my
Urban was
75
ribbing
cent
about-
shades from the dollar
Urban
store.
was ribbing about.
Rogers look.
Was
Yeah,
yeah,
that's my West Texas look here.
and he's got a Texas shirt on to prove it. You know,
Exactly.
he's not taking any chances.
Yeah,
No
that's-
Longhorn T-shirt.
Yeah, that's in case I get lost.
Sure,
They
they
go.
know where to send you back.
Yeah, like if I get that dimension, I'm lost, right?
Yes.
And they go, "Sir, where do you live?" And, oh, he lives in Texas. Hey, you.
There you go.
Put him on Highway 281
Yeah.
norther.
Norther of Norther of
Hey, Paul, the
1601.
last time I had you on the show, you said one of the funniest things, and I've used it a couple of times. Sorry, but it's that one saying that you said. Remember, Ed, when you buy the fries, the ketchup's free. That's resonated on my mind for all these years. It's been about 10 years since we were together at Mine Shop. Do you recall that? You don't remember? This
don't remember
guy's in
telling you that.
ozone. He has it's on record.
When you buy the fries, the ketchup's free.
Yeah, you said, remember, Ed, that when you buy the fries, the ketchup's free.
That's
And I
another
thought,
song
"Dad,
right
God,
there, Ed."
That's I'm saying, man.
pretty
That's
nice.
genius.
Well, that's
I thought
pretty
to
nice.
myself, every time I buy some fries, I'm really getting over.
Now, Ed, before
I get more ketchup now.
more ketchup, yeah.
Yeah, extra ketchup. So I'm extra special.
So before
I
we
guess.
started, before you started, running the camera,
No.
we were back in the green room, and
The greener
which is
room.
which is kind of close to the refrigerator.
Yeah,
But no, you got a great place here, Ed.
it's in
But
between.
you
Let's
did
just say that.
you did ask
Where
about
our
if there
fans
was,
sit.
you asked about if there was one thing that stuck out, and I'm like, well, I couldn't remember. they all stick out. But then I said, I thought of one. You want to
did?
discuss it now, or you want to wait till later?
No, I think now's a good time. What do you think, Urban? Seeing as
go.
how this is your
Let's
show.
do it. Let's do it, Paul.
Okay, so this
Okay.
would have been with
Did you hear that? What a
we win
cute.
something?
yeah, man. That's good.
That's the alien
Wow,
coming
we-
to us. Now we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay.
This
go.
would have been with Urban and myself, the original bass player with United, Willie Mellon, the original keyboard player, Bobby
And Rip,
Go-Go
Marco, by the way.
Gomez, not to be confused with Robert Gomez, the guitar player, Bobby Go-Go Gomez, and we had Doug Brock on congas. We were doing our house band gig at a place, the Pendulum. This would have been probably 1969 or 70. And when we were discussing earlier, I said my amp. So what happened is we're
That's
playing
right.
along. I didn't know what I was doing as far as electronics.
Do you
We're
still?
playing along, and they're going like this, and I turn around. My amp is on fire. I don't mean smoking. I mean flames.
Oh my gosh!
I knew nothing
I don't
about
know why I thought you were going to say that.
I knew nothing about electronics. I grabbed a pitcher of beer or water, whatever was there, and I threw it on a flaming amplifier.
What happened?
And nothing blew. The fire went out,
No way.
and
Yeah.
nothing bad happened. But my friends that work on amps, they go,
We should have you at more. You should be an honorary fireman. I think this guy could have saved the whole planet right there.
Good.
Could have. That place could have
but I
burned
gotta tell
down,
you,
partner.
I got to tell you, at that moment, we were between songs.
Oh, you were together.
yeah, we were
Both
on
you
stage.
fruitcakes.
"Pardon me?"
We
Both
were on,
you fruitcakes were together
we
on
were
this.
on stage at the Pendulum. Yeah, and
was-
I
yeah,
remember,
it
I
was a-
remember Paul. I remember seeing the flames.
Oh my
Because Paul's
gosh.
to my
There's a
left.
witness.
Because I'm at the very end of the stage, and the guys, there's next to me. There's Willie, and there's Doug, and Paul, and there's Go-Go. And I remember I remember seeing the flames because they worked on that amplifier earlier that day. They took it apart and they put it back together really fast. And I was watching the whole time. I was amazed. How did they know how to do all that? So we went to the gig, and all of a sudden, I think maybe in the first set, was it Paul, or sometime, it just like, there was fire. And Paul picks up the pitcher and throws the beer on the amplifier.
All I know is my friends that about electronics. They go, "You don't ever throw any kind of liquid."
No.
Especially
On
when the
an
amps.
electrical fire, that
It's
current could have
plugged in.
followed. Yeah. You're lucky that you were, already wired, so it didn't really it just bypass you. You probably were the equivalent of that voltage. Over the years, it
it coulda
probably
went-
accumulated.
It could have went bad real
Coulda.
fast.
You're probably the one that shorted it out. There you have it.
Well,
That's genius, I think. your internal fortitude.
I'm probably
Blew
the
that
only
freaking
witness to witness the whole thing from the very beginning on.
That's incredible.
Earlier
man.
that
you can't
day.
make up a story like this, and then you have the witness sitting right here. Probably the
Yeah.
only living witness
Yeah,
at that. These
yeah.
guys are about 85 years old,
Yeah, pushing 90 and
pushing
100.
90 and 100. But these guys never stop, man. Right now, you're booked all the time, right, Urban?
I stay really busy. I'm very lucky, just
You seen Mike Ellis lately? Because
yeah,
he
I
hit
played
all
a
the
gig with
circuit.
him
He
the
hit
other
all
day.
the guys, hit them all up for cash. He made a lot of money, right?
them boys. They know.
Fix
Tell you,
the
Mike
van.
Ellis knows probably every song in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows all the chords and all the words. Paul. I got to tell you, they were talking about putting implants in people's brain.
Oh, my gosh.
AI.
There we go again.
AI implants in people's brain.
What?
So they were talking about
I need
that
to
on
be
the
checked.
radio on the way over here. So
I
I
need
thought
to be
just
checked.
thought I want to mention that in case
It happens.
it could happen. You
You
know,
know.
you never know.
Speaking of which, you have no idea about this. True story. When I met Urban over here off Santerra and we were sitting having that taco, we talked about some personal things. And one of which you don't even know about. You thought I was jiving. He was telling me about an implant that they found in his arm and doesn't know where it's from. And he goes to figure, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that he's part alien. Urbano said it first on Santerra, and he's here to clarify today on San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network. So is that a true story or not? Because this guy says that's false. You said it out of wanting to good publicity.
It's really true, and the doctors have X-rays. They looked at it. They called me in, you know.
Honest.
But anyway, that's a whole nother story.
No, it's not.
But I got to tell you, there's
He's an
something to
alien,
it.
guys.
They found an implant in my chest, so the doctor doesn't know. It's very small and stuff. There's a whole story that goes with that. But I really want to talk about the early United days with Paul and me. Because
No, forget that. I want to hear about the implant.
The implant probably got you through those early days.
We can tell
that,
you.
right?
Hold your horses. There was a time we used to play at a place called the Zodiac on Isom Road.
What?
Yeah,
I remember that road.
Remember that place?
Yes, sir.
That's where the flea market was.
And one day Henry dared Paul on a Wednesday night. We've been playing on there Wednesdays. We always
This
had a
show
good
is such a
crowd.
lifesaver.
And I can't tell you the year it happened, but it was in the 70s and early 70s. Maybe.
Oh, that's enough.
76. There you
Ooh,
go.
Child, that was the year I graduated. That was a heck of a year, man.
But
Everybody was thrown down.
Paul had a bet going on with the manager of the place, the owner of the place,
man.
Henry. And
What kind of
Henry bet Paul. He asked Paul, would you play naked? He dared him.
Oh, I
And
know
Paul,
where this is going.
he played naked. He did. And at some point, we were playing Train Kept a Rolling, and there's that snare drum part, right?
Oh,
and you know,
no.
And oh yeah, I got to tell you this, Paul. I got to tell you from the drummer's point of view.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
It was not pretty, was it?
it was a part of a horror story, but not a Jane Fonda story, but a horror story. Anyway, so I'm sitting there doing the snare drum part, and Paul is doing. He's behind the wall, behind me, and there's a little wall.
Hopefully he wasn't rubbing on you.
And I just we talked about, you know, Paul's going to play naked. Okay. I don't know how if he's really going to do it or not. You know,
Y'all are sick,
we
man.
just talked about it and we I don't know Henry. It was between Henry and Paul. I think we got free beer that night if you did it.
All night.
Okay.
that goes to show. That was
there
the
you go. I'm playing this
situation, man.
drum
It
part,
was the beer.
and Paul just goes, and then all of a sudden there's a, and at that point I see Paul jumping over me. And
What?
His legs are there, and his guitar's way down here. And
Oh my
all
gosh.
I see his balls hanging
No.
down. You know, yeah. And he just kind of lands in front. I went, okay, we're going for
This
it.
story
We're going to
went
do
from
this thing
woo
tonight. And
to
and somehow Paul talked these two blonde girls into being in front when he landed. Kind of like to worship Paul that he was naked playing guitar. You
That's
know?
one ball each.
In a Zodiac on a Wednesday night, packed house.
This is terrible, man.
So this is from my point of view. I just saw
God
you
this is
going
all
over my
adult
head and then bam landing
conversation.
and then dun 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 dun
Talk
dun
show.
dun dun dun, dun. You know, we just went right into that part.
Ed,
Yes.
Urban,
Yeah.
this is when he woke up and the doctor said, we have removed the implant.
There you go.
Anyway,
But it
Paul
really
has
happened.
no idea
you know?
what the hell just happened.
And, but there's a little bit more. You know, the thing
my
about
God,
United,
more?
the thing about United was we were different from. I feel that we were different from all the local
Jay,
bands.
with that story
because
said yes.
only
You
because
are very much
we were
different.
so busy. We were so busy all the time playing. We didn't have time really to go watch other bands. Does that sound right? Does that sound right?
No
so
wonder
we
you didn't
kinda
know what the hell
gained
was
our
going
own.
on.
We kind of gained our own way of playing songs.
I'm sure.
And
naked.
because we weren't really listening to what other people
Paul
were
had to
doing.
get naked to
You know?
have some form
You
of
know,
self-expression
but hold on, you know the thing
and
is
reveal his innermost.
the Pendulum
Anyway, to you,
Club
sir.
in the '60s when we first started playing a lot of like Santana stuff and really have a legit band that had a dance crowd and then right across the other side of the room were the titty dancers.
wait a minute.
More
Yeah,
nakedness.
at the Pendulum.
What are you talking about?
At the Pendulum. So every Friday and
Paul was not
Thursday,
there,
Friday, and
guys.
Saturday we
He's
would
talking
play.
about-
Now, Ed, you know what?
And
Is
There,
she
there,
okay?
there were two stages. What he's saying is true, but there were two stages. So
I had two
if,
stages.
if you come
once.
through the front, if you come
a
through
child and an adult. Now, which one are y'all gonna
yeah,
be?
if you come through the front
Sorry.
door, the band was the stage on the right. Opposite wall, stage on the left, there were go-go dancers with the little tassels and Take
No
It
way.
Urban.
right, and they just
Never heard of such a thing.
well, this was a time. Not everybody knew about what we were doing. You know, we were playing.
I did.
We were playing really good, great music, and I thought we were a pretty damn good band.
Yeah, I was playing titty
but
bars and
I
with a
liked the way
great
we
band.
played Santana stuff, and Paul was just an amazing guitar player.
But
Just-
naked
just-
is naked, guys. Okay.
yeah, but that came along later. But we
But
did this
Paul,
whole.
when he came along, that was way before, so that initiated you to nakedness.
That sounds like a trick
I
question.
think that's how this all went. I don't know, guys. I'm just fishing. Okay, which brings me to y'all just gave away
there's
most
more to
memorable
this
city
Zodiac
moments, though.
thing.
The
'Cause-
Zodiac.
Yeah, because
We're back
we
on
did
that?
this, I think, 2 Wednesdays in a row. We were packing the place.
Nakedness?
Yeah, because it was
Twice.
like, yeah, and we packed the place. There were so many people on
They
the second
liked it,
time.
Paul.
And then
Maybe
we
we
were
should
going to
have you
do it
back
another
naked.
Wednesday. We're going to do it one more Wednesday.
Paul, would you come
but
back
what was
naked
going
next time?
on was, hold on,
Running you out, so I can't hear you.
hold on, Ed, hold on. But what was going on was that the police were in tune with what we were doing.
You're doing a good job, Urban. You got him. You
police?
got the host. You got the host in stitches.
The police.
The police. You see, the thing about United is we would like do things
Unlawful?
you see, we're like you remember the movie? I mean, the show The Monkees. Well, we were kind of like the Monkees because we were living all together up in Chicago for months and
I got notes. I made
Being
notes
naked
about
is more
Chicago.
like Planet of the Apes.
I mean, that came along later. The early United days, you know. We were trying to make it in the world and then ran across the
that.
mafia up there. Man,
Paul's
you
waiting.
know, we were
Paul's
always doing
waiting.
stuff.
What do you have to
with
say about the mafia, man? Now he's talking mafia.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Urban's probably like one of my best friends ever.
No way.
I've never heard him talk this much. Like what?
Paul.
How
Most
much coffee
charming
do you
stuff,
have, Urban?
man.
A lot.
That's the way from
Okay.
the talk show.
But yeah, we had to run in with
Once
the
they get on, you
mafia
can't shut
took
them
our
up,
money because we needed IDs.
Need money too.
Ed.
Yeah, so to play some of the clubs. You know, we were all underage, and so
Cut it out,
we were
man.
all in Chicago. So we decided to go to the mafia, find them, go to the mafia, and tell them our dilemma. And they said, okay.
Dilemma?
I think it was $150, right?
125.
$125. That's a lot of money in
That's cheap.
1970. You know, June of 1970.
$33 each. Okay.
And so they said, call back in a
That
couple
was
of
a lot of
weeks.
money.
We'll get a hold of you. Well, I think in 3 weeks went by, and we said, we gotta call them. We're gonna call on the mafia. We gotta go to the mafia and
What?
and call them out that they took our money. You know,
Wow.
we were pretty scared that we were all going down, all 4 of us. So all of us went down to the mafia. You remember that day?
It was the Mafia Union.
Well, it really happened. And so, you
never
know, we
gonna
went
tell the
ahead
truth,
and
guys.
we said, we were in front of the big dude, whatever, you know, I guess.
Mafia
whatever,
Union.
Godfather or something. Maybe, he was, I don't know who the guy was, but all I know is that
He was a player, man.
Bob Gogo said that, he said, well, you got, you know, he was doing
Played
the
you.
business, and we were the 3, his backup.
What?
Paul, me, and Willie, you know, the backup for Go-Go, confronting the mafia in their backyard, you know, about getting ripped off for, are you ripping us off? You know, we wanted to know. So he pulled open a drawer.
Well, they're not going to tell you when they're ripping you off.
Well, he opens up a
Urban.
drawer, and he pulls out an envelope and puts it on the table and says, here's your IDs. Goodbye. So
how sweet.
We thought, did we
I would've
just?
been
We had
grateful,
I
man.
felt we had a brush with death. In
You're
a way,
lucky
you know?
he didn't bury you and the IDs. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
All of
man.
us,
the
you know?
mafia?
What
The
band?
union? Stop it.
Yeah. So anyway, that was
I mean, an Englishman and a Mexicano?
But we,
Come
you
on,
know,
man. Y'all are asking for trouble, man.
United
I
was always.
wasn't asking for trouble.
I don't know. United was always stepping on toes, man.
Hey, I had a most memorable silly moment yesterday, seeing as how y'all already went way out of line, by the way. But yeah, I went to go see Valmora and Evolution. There's this young lady, Casey Cortez. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves. It's all right. I didn't have to get so quiet. Casey Cortez, just vocals from holy heck, man. She can sing. You know, there are singers, well, she can sing. And she's just fabulous personality, so she just captivates the stage. And I just want to shout out to my new friend, Casey. She's going to come on the show. Her parents are lovely. And Val's band is really hot right now. Go see Evolution, my good friend. Sharon de los Santos is all happening right now, so we're going to get into like shout-outs. So if there was somebody that you wanted to give shout-outs to in recognition of your careers, whom might that be? Don't look so silly, Paul.
Okay. No, you asked a serious question.
Yeah, it's serious.
So when United formed,
You need your list?
when United formed,
Check your notes.
when United formed, we were really young. Like Urban said, we were underage.
You were just children.
And the only one in the band that was over 21 was the keyboard player, Bobby Gomez.
That's the guy that gets a beer, right?
And no, but Bobby was the one that came up with the name United, and Bobby was a good band leader, a good friend too. And we're still friends. We still keep in touch. He lives in Louisiana, and something that we've already discussed this 3 or 4 times. The bass player, original bass player Willie Mellon, lives outside of Corpus in Portland, Texas. Mm-hmm. And we talked with Willie about riding with Willie, me and Urban riding with Willie. He has a huge motorhome, like the Coach style, the big ones.
Sure.
And we talked to Bobby Gomez, who lives in Louisiana. Well, Bobby owns a nightclub in Louisiana, and he still plays music.
So I smell a reunion.
So we talked about going to Louisiana for 2 or 3 nights, playing in Bobby's club, and he wants to do it, and Willie wants to do it, but Willie will not be back in Texas until the fall, because in the summer he travels in the RV coach. But that's something that. But as
that's
far
on
as
the back burner, that sounds like a winner, though, man.
Yeah.
That
Sounds like
heck
a
of
new
project,
song.
Right? It
That's
does,
what it
man.
sounds like.
But
On
as
the road
far
again,
as
and
who,
again and again and again.
as far as who influenced me, or who was sort of a mentor, one of my first mentors was Bobby Gomez. I had another mentor before Bobby. I was 13, and this guy was 19, and he was stationed on Lackland Air Force Base. First name was Bill, and he would come to my house, and
Big Bill.
we would sit in the backyard, if weather permitting, and just play guitars for hours. He taught me how to play Chuck Berry style. He taught me how to play bluegrass. People don't know that when I was 13, I was learning bluegrass and rock and roll. I was learning a variety even back then. And Bill Hires was one of my mentors, and Bobby Gomez. And from there, we just, you learn from more people and you get more experiences. A big shout out to a buddy of mine that we lost him. He passed away a couple of years ago, Mr. Al Hoxie. He owned Shenanigans and 20 Grand, Jiggers, and I played it all.
Well, we did.
You used to come and jam with me.
I sat down. I was his drummer for the jamming group that he had until somebody abused my drums, and I said, that's it for me. But I mean, we had a great time. We had a great time at 20 Grand, right?
You used to come to 20 Grand, yeah.
Yeah, you were so kind to have me on, and that's where we got to know each other even more so than we did previously, because we've always run into each other.
But that was a few, of my influences, or not really influences.
That was fun. Those guys were players, man. There were a lot of players there.
Oh, yeah.
That night, and you had quite a following for years. You, Bobby Beal, a whole bunch of you guys that started the jam sessions, but would be, local at every which way,
But those
everywhere.
were some of the people, like you say, who did I like kind of learn things from, or who kind of helped mentor me? That's kind of the ones I can think of. I don't know if we want to hear from Urban, who was some of his mentors.
Urban, the guys of whom, you've been playing with and where you're going. What's in the future? What's in the future?
Band teacher.
Mr. Schreiber?
Was he cool with you?
I had to beg to get into band.
We're talking about.
I was in
This is
stage
like
band.
a senior
I was in
year,
stage band. I
John
had no
Jay,
fun with that.
1970, and I went to
Al Gomez,
Mr.
shout
Schreiber,
out.
the band director, and I begged him, can I join the band? Because
Edison
we were
High School.
doing electives, and the only ones open was cooking, and
I went for that.
let's see, was cooking and typing.
Oh no.
So, so I thought I didn't want to do either one. So
Yeah.
I went to Mr. Schreiber, and he knew that I was a drummer. Me and Paul were already playing. We were playing some of the dances at high school.
And your hair was long, right?
Oh no, I don't know. Paul, did you wear a wig?
What now?
Did you wear a wig in high school?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
No.
No.
I tried.
We knew some people that you did
Yeah,
that
I
too.
tried. It just got too
Yeah.
wavy. I got too many curls.
Yeah.
And now I don't have anything.
But anyway, playing for Schreiber, I was able to play with I was in D band, so because
That's in dumb, right?
yeah, it was really
It's like
bad.
stu-
Didn't
close
know
to
anything.
stupid. That's for you
But-
guys that don't know. That's the closest stupid, ignorant.
That's it. D band, duh. And so he didn't have a
Hey, but
class
they're so
for
good.
D
They can
band,
keep time.
so he put us with the A band. And,
Yeah.
So I thought that was
That'll
kind of
improve-
weird.
that'll
So
improve the
Greg
sound
Hall,
every time.
the other drummer, I admired Greg Hall. Always admired Greg Hall as a drummer. He was monster, and we were back there in the back just screwing off, and we were
Oh, I saw
throwing dust
Rakowitz
around.
last night.
We were throwing dust around, and
Yeah.
Greg Hall got caught throwing dust around, and he had to go up front and get his ear pulled, and I felt real bad of that Greg Hall got his ear pulled.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It was.
I've had a lot worse things happen.
But-
My my whole gig would be like, shout out to all the places like Main Street, the Cove, Sancho's, the city of San Antonio, police department. You guys, are you okay? I'm just kidding. Yeah, but them too. And so, it's all the venues that I've been going to. And Austin, Texas too, guys. I mean, that's a gem right in your backyard. It's an hour and 15 minutes away or so, less, And once you get there, there's all kinds of things to do during the summertime. They have the Zilker Park, and I like to do interviews out there and interview the guys from Austin. So I'm coming back in the summer. We're going to throw down, And we still got to do something in Brack. So I still like us drummers and musicians. I spoke to Valmora yesterday, and he's in for the Brackenridge Showdown. So that would be kind of cool just to have his band and a couple of others, throw down, and we can jam with whomever. Are you guys okay, man?
I think that's a good idea. I think that's
Both
a
of
good
y'all
idea.
have just zoned out on me, man. Paul, are you okay, man? I can't see a thing.
No, I don't want to. I don't want the three of us talking.
Please, do talk
I don't want the
over.
three of us talking over each other.
I like
Yeah,
that.
When
It'll
you
be
talk,
like-
I'm just listening.
It'll be like The
But it's
View
imperative.
then, like
The
all-
view, yeah. Let's all like.
all them. Whoa.
Okay, well,
So-
with that said, I think we're pretty much done. Do we have a burning desire? Anything you
Well,
guys want to add?
you're asking about influence, and
Implants.
influences.
Oh, influences. Well, that's many
Yeah,
implants
there you
again.
go.
I'm
Now
down
y'all
for
got
some
it going
alien-
on.
I'm down for
Influence,
some alien
influence.
talk, man. I got visited.
I gotta say, in all my years of playing, there's been a lot of influences, and not one sticks out. In the early years, Paul was a big influence because he had this kind of an untamed way of playing and thinking.
still like that.
And still like that.
Yeah.
And when I heard some
what
tapes
keeps me
from the
fresh.
70s, Paul was a monster, just doing stuff that I can only say that the stuff Paul was playing back then was so unique, and the stuff I was playing against it was so unique too. I mean, I couldn't play some of that stuff, and I think if Paul heard it, he probably could say that too. That's a different way of playing, you know.
I'm gonna break into my notes, Ed, because
I knew this was going to happen.
one of the
There-
biggest
I was just waiting.
influences was Randy Garibay, you know, playing for Randy. I was his drummer for like almost 20 years.
Yeah, no,
And- but-
that was
but-
what was it?
but
That
not
band,
only-
too smooth or too?
But
What was that band?
you know,
that you guys were with?
Randy Garibay was like a singer's singer. You know, he was a big dog.
Well, he was kind of
And-
like,
and- but this,
and
but
he had
mind
that
you, this
able
group
to
of
do the
cats,
ability to do Vegas.
Yeah, he did Vegas, but in 1985, I got a call to go play with Randy, Rocky Morales, Felix
Oh, yeah.
Villarreal, Jack Barber. I was there too. So I got to play with and learn. These cats really taught me how to be a drummer. Jack Barber is probably the greatest drum instructor I've ever had.
He's a really
Jack
badass
Barber, man, he
bassman
just eats
and,
drums,
and a
man.
great timekeeper, and that's what he's talking about right now. It's because Jack is such a phenomenal timekeeper
and
that you have
his
no choice but to
ideas-
compliment him on
His way of
trap
playing and his ideas are so awesome. That's all I can say, you know. But Jack's one of a kind. But anyway, that group of Randy Garibay and Cats Don't Sleep were the biggest influence of helping me learn how to be a better
Journey
drummer.
Garibay.
Yeah, it gave you. I don't know why they actually chose me. Maybe because I don't know. You know, that was a weird.
Well, you played with all the greats, so that's amazing. Yeah,
But
the
but
stories
Randy
of what you
Garibay
have,
was like the big catapult.
and
to
moreover,
meet.
if you stick around this far, you might as well hear this.
I get to meet such great people.
Well,
you know?
not only meet, but you were at the helm when you were talking to one of our dear friends, Sauce, when he happened to leave this planet. He was on the phone with Sauce, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who know Sauce and know Urban, they were talking about an upcoming gig, and please continue, Urban.
Well, Sauce was part of that thing with Randy when I first got around all the guys. And so Sauce was always like my big brother about ideas and teaching me stuff. You know,
Sure.
You know,
And playing
feeling-
all over the
and
place.
feeling how to do that, you know. Nobody ever showed me all that stuff, you know. But Sauce had a great way of explaining it. And then one day, you know, we always talked, and then not too long ago, Sauce and I were talking. I was returning Sauce's phone call, and I got Sauce says, I said, I can call you back if you're busy. He goes, no, I'm not really that busy. And I thought, well, that's a weird kind of response out of Sauce. I never heard that.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of lackluster.
But in all, Sauce passed away on the phone while I was talking to him. That was like, wow. Something like that's of another.
Talk about a brotherhood, though. You know, I'm thinking to myself, I don't guess that I could have gone out any better, you know, than have you on the line, on the other line, anyone, you know, to have a brother on the other line, you know, no better time, and a musician at that, somebody that you're this close to. So it's a true story.
Yeah,
I mean, who would have thunk it? But these kind of things happen.
I knew Sauce
in life
was
and
in-
afterlife too.
I knew Sauce was in not good health, and
Yeah.
but for him to pass away on the phone, him and I talking, it's just surreal.
That was an amazing story.
Yeah,
I do
and,
appreciate you sharing that. We're not there. It's no limelight. It just happens to go show how our spirits are entwined, and stuff like that would just happen on our world, in our world. You know.
Yeah, you never
Just
know.
an amazing story. You never know,
You
man.
never
We could
know,
grow
you know.
next week, but if we do, we have the show to keep us young.
Yeah,
Like
and,
you,
know,
Paul, you're next. What
I
about
think
your
about
list,
Paul,
Paul?
you know.
Okay.
And all the years that we played
Paul
together.
is
and-
he's so cool. He doesn't want to interrupt.
Okay, here.
Click, you're on.
Okay, so no, this is going to be,
That's
you know,
enough
that,
of
and
you.
that was Urban's story was very touching. I didn't know he was on the phone when that happened, but
Yeah.
So we're going to change
Doing a lot of
gears.
things
Yeah,
you didn't
gotta
know.
change gears
We're
now.
going to change gears
Change
a little
gears.
here, kind of
Okay.
lighten it up a little,
Sure.
because I have prepared some quizzes for Urban Urbano.
No way.
This is going to be fun.
My
okay.
gosh.
So
Now,
Urban,
this is
I'm gonna,
audience. I mean,
Yeah, this is
musicians'
unrehearsed.
participation.
This is
I like
unrehearsed.
this. Just I
Wow,
like this.
I did
gig.
not know
He
this
had
was
a- He
coming.
had to get
I had
to,
no
and
idea.
now he's got to get to.
Okay.
So let's go.
Okay. So Urban,
I'm
I'm going
ready.
to say a name, and just give me a short explanation of what it reminds you of. Colonel Tyke and his traveling show and musical band.
John Jay High School. A couple of the dances we played.
Okay, great. We kind of mentioned this one. So, The Blind Light.
That was
Blind
like a better version of Colonel Tyke Band. And cool. We played a bunch of cool songs.
Those are obviously those are the first beginning two bands.
These are all different
69,
groups.
90.
These are all different groups, and most of them, I think, Urban made up these names. Okay, here's the next one. Kingdom Come.
Oh,
my
man.
Lord.
Real quick.
And I meant that.
In the 70s, you had to kind of publicize. It really helped if you could promote your own gigs a lot. So we had
God
flyers
wasn't-
built
that was a good thing.
okay, we're going to use a new name this month and see if it draws in some fans. So
God?
so we went ahead and wrote out, and we were thinking because we were playing at a topless place, the Pendulum, in our history. So maybe that
Take the Lord
Kingdom
into
Come
the
might be
topless
like
joint.
drawing some porn people, some
That's funny.
dancers, more
Oh,
dancers.
man.
So anyway,
That's a riot,
we went
guys.
ahead and we publicized it.
Christian porn
and then
star.
we went to the gig, and right before we started, we noticed, hey, all these people are really religious. This is
not.
like, do we?
We got the
Depending on
church
what you're
crowd.
talking about.
Kingdom Come. We got the church crowd. Okay, here's the next one, Urban. Thank you. That was great. No, this hey, most of these Urban came up with these names way back. Like
Well, now you're giving it all away.
okay, here we go.
Okay.
The Hollywood Wolf Wagon.
Oh man, we were playing in
What?
another titty bar.
Dad, these guys are full
Is
of
that the
titty
only
bars.
gig? Is that the only gigs you guys could get?
Yeah, that was the only kind of gigs, and there was a girl named
Who
what
paid
was her
you,
name?
man? Chicks or the bar?
The bar.
Okay,
And-
good. Thank God.
Yeah, it was one of Barney's
I hate
other
to take
bars,
their money and
right
their
down the
views.
street from the Pendulum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember that? And
Yeah.
I think one of the dancers was Zelda or Zorba
Zelda.
or something like that. Started with a Z.
Can
So
you
how
help
did,
them
how
with
did you
names?
get Hollywood Wolf Wagon out of that?
Well, we wanted to try a different name, and there were new.
Trying another name.
And we were in a different club with different girls, and they were, hey, wolves, like we could be like wolves. No,
the
let's
Paul
not be like.
Kandera
Hey,
show,
We
ladies
folks.
and
can't be
gentlemen.
wolves. We could be a wolf wagon, maybe.
Now, folks,
Yeah.
this never ends. This was Urban coming up with a new name for the band every 3 weeks. Okay, this
The
was
thing is, they were buying it.
That was hip way back then.
no. This was one of my favorites and probably one of his. Bonzo La Rock.
What?
Oh right. Okay, I can't.
You were
say.
sick,
I
man.
can't say the whole name.
Bonzo La
Yeah,
Rock.
that's close enough.
Yeah. But
Oh, there was more?
we were involved with Battle of the Bands down at Sunken Gardens, and we wanted to use a different name. Did that sound right? We wanted to use a different
Sounds
name.
beautiful. Whatever you say, Urban, sounds beautiful.
And so we
Jeez,
thought
man.
instead of using
Scammers.
United, let's use Bonzo La Rock, King of the. And so we just like
King of
we
Rock.
just like King of something, and so
my.
it was a Bonzo La Rock. So we played, and I think we got second, and Drugstore Cowboys won. All right, Dub.
There's a few more.
I
Urban.
like their
Okay,
I
good.
like their name more.
There's two more. There was one called
Bonzo.
Feed, F-E-E-D, Feed.
I got
Were
that
you thinking
from-
about the kids that didn't have lunch money or what?
Well, part of that, and saw Free,
Neuro
the
Feed.
band called Free, So I thought, well, Feed's kind of starts a big F too, So free food, maybe free.
No, Urban, didn't you have an orange Volkswagen
Okay.
van at the time?
Oh yeah, I had an
And
orange.
in the
Can you
parking
say
lot,
HEB?
in the parking lot of John Jay, didn't I see on the side of your orange van in big yellow letters F-E-E-D?
Feed, yeah,
I thought you were working.
and
at
it
a,
was orange with yellow wheels. Looked like a clown car.
I thought you were working at a feed store or something.
Well, that too, and long hair, So this, well, wait a minute. When long hair wasn't in yet, I couldn't have long hair because I was going to John Jay High School, 1970, 69. So it was short hair.
Is that where you graduated?
Yeah.
You know, and your profile doesn't show any school at all. Why, Paul?
No, go ahead.
No, I'm asking you a question. How come your profile doesn't show that you ever went to school, man?
We went away with the titty dancers.
Was your education at the titty bar place or what?
Oh no, not mine.
Well, you shouldn't
No,
play enough
I don't
of
know.
them.
I don't know why in Urban's memory
I played a
everything-
couple of them, but not a bunch like y'all did.
I don't know why in Urban's memory everything coincides with a titty bar, but
That's what I heard.
That was what happens when you're exposed at an early age to things like that.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
So we're in
two.
Chicago. We're in, like you mentioned earlier. We're in Chicago with the band United,
Yeah.
and it was starting to get cold. You know, it was getting cold pretty early in the year up there.
Okay.
So Urban goes to one of the Kmart. It was probably Kmart back then. Comes back, a big smile on his face. Bought a brand new red sweatshirt with a hoodie. Proud of that sweatshirt. Well, about 2 weeks go by, and that sweatshirt needs to be washed. It's about time to wash that sweatshirt,
Well, 2
Urban.
weeks, man.
So Urban throws his whites, which is underwear and socks, in with his brand new red hoodie sweatshirt.
Ooh, that's perfumey.
He had pink underwear for the rest of the tour.
And now he gives us the most memorable silly moment, y'all. Right when we're ending.
There was a night. There was a night.
He probably still has them.
No, there was a night that
I'm not kidding.
there was a night. Willie,
souvenir.
the bass player,
I
was
would've-
the bass player was asleep. Willie, and he's snoring with his mouth open. And Urban gets this idea. He thought it was going to be funny
No way.
to go into the kitchen, get some black pepper, and put it in Willie's throat. Willie wakes up choking and coughing,
Really wanted to kill me.
and Urban's
sure.
laughing. And Willie was the biggest guy in the band. So Willie wants to kill Urban. So what does he do? He grabs Urban, who just happens to be in his pink underwear, throws him out the front door in the cold in his
Oh
pink
my
underwear.
God, no way.
The four of us live in an apartment like as big as that and this. And then we were there for several months because cars kept breaking down and we kept trying to get money to get out of town. Sound right? Yeah.
Now they sound like they're running from the
so
law,
yeah, it was
guys.
cold. Yeah.
These guys are so full of it.
No, but
It's like,
that
it's like
story
a
is,
circus, man. It's like a
that story
This
is
is
kind of
like a
like you
damn
say.
circus.
The story is kind of like you say. You can't make this up. You know what I mean?
No. Nuh-uh. And with
mean,
that
there's-
said, you know,
one thing after another. And also, too, at this Zodiac Club, something happened and we announced that there's going to be a skinny dipping party at my apartment.
now they're
You
skinny
remember
dipping,
that?
guys.
You remember? Did you go to that one? Yeah.
No, I didn't go to that one.
Well, we had about
Paul
30,
didn't know
40
anything.
people show up for a skinny dipping party at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
How many
at
titty
my-
dancers were there?
Yeah, and there probably was, And so we got raided by the cops
guys.
out there, and they were arresting a lot of people. And so United was
Now they're
also
arresting people, folks.
Now we're into another thing about the law, So we're always skirting
whole
the
different
law,
decade,
man. It's
y'all.
always something. But I will tell you about this.
Oh,
Now,
no,
Paul,
please.
you don't know about this one. Okay, we were playing Beeville. Okay, you and me and Bruce.
Thank you,
This is
Jesus.
about somewhere in the 70s, and we were playing. It was
Oh,
a
that's
Dean Bell
trouble.
gig. We were
Anywhere
sent
in the
out there
70s is trouble.
to go play the Officers Club
What?
in Beeville. So we were playing a lot of cool rock and roll songs, and one of the songs is an AC/DC song.
War pigs.
No, I don't know.
Good one, Ed.
No, but different band. Anyway, so there's a part where we break down, and we had these things called A7 speaker cabinets. They're huge. They're the size of a refrigerator, an old big refrigerator. It takes 2 people to move it. And anyway, so Paul, we had this breakdown the song AC/DC song, and I want to say it was. Do you remember this song? We get real quiet, and Paul starts talking about getting a blowjob from some girl.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now, over the microphone, Paul is singing this, but Paul has a way of interjecting words and
So do
stuff
you.
very cleverly, in a
So do
very,
you.
very
Paul
clever
ain't got
way. I
nothing
don't know
over
if
on
you even
you.
realized what you were doing.
Jeez, guys.
But also on each side of that A7 cabinet were a couple of the cafeteria ladies. And they were just
Oh,
smoking.
God, this is going
and
there.
they were listening to the song. They were like, I could see them putting their ear to the speaker, on one on each side of that speaker. And I'm going, they're liking this song. And Paul's talking more about this oral act going
Did he
on.
get naked?
Well, no, Paul just playing guitar, talking stories.
I thought he was going to
and
get naked, guys.
I'm laughing so hard I'm crying, Ed.
These ladies are like, and they're puffing their cigarette even
Oh,
faster.
my God. No way.
And so I think Paul hit a nerve,
Excited.
So Paul, I
They're-
think
they're
you missed your
excited.
calling.
They're not united.
You could have been like some kind of voice in some kind of movie or something. But anyway,
He was putting out some kind of vibes.
that happened too.
Wow.
No
Y'all
cops
these couple
involved.
of sex machines, basically, is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. These guys have been in the sex industry now for 50 some odd years. I forget the music. Y'all are both cut it out. Stop looking at me like that.
What?
Yeah, what?
Hey, it's kind of funny the way
Silence is golden.
one person's memory remembers something one way and someone remembers the other. So it's kind of like, what is the truth? Well,
Yeah, y'all don't agree.
this side, or something in the middle.
I think between
why I
y'all, it's just all a bunch of bullshit.
That's why I
Between
keep
both of
talking to
y'all.
Paul and going, does that sound right? Because, the
Never
memory.
heard him talk this much.
Don't
Ed.
don't forget to tune in next month when we do the second go round of the Paul and Urban show. Because I'm at this point I'm out, man.
There's so
And-
many other stories.
And with that said,
Mr. Ed
I'm Ed
Ocampo,
Ocampo
thank you,
Sr.
sir.
with
Thanks
San
for having us.
Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network. We want y'all to go out and go do something good for somebody today, because we're out to change the world one day at a time with a little joy and laughter. That's really what it's all about. So welcome these guys into your living room and the rest of the house while you're cleaning up.
Thank
and give
you,
a listen.
Eddie.
Give a listen to the Paul and Urban show. That's Paul Kandera and Urbano.
Eddie, I'd like to say thank you
No way.
for allowing us to come and share some stuff,
It's been fun. We're going to have to do it like monthly, because Paul's he's got the right idea. Now he brings in a certain different attitude.
I'm sure
And
Paul.
questionnaire for other people
Sure,
too.
Paul. Paul's always been cautious. He always looks at something before he says something. But I think next time if we get a chance to come on your show,
Got the clipboard.
watch
Urban.
out for Paul. I'm sure he's got some stories.
Got my
Well, listen,
notes.
just so long as he stays out of this arena, ladies and gentlemen, I won't have to sue. Okay.
Sayonara.
Say bye to the guys.
Thank you.
No, say bye to the guys. Say bye. Say something. Say something. All right.
Sayonara.
San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network, hosted by the one and only Mr. Ed Ocampo Sr. Thank you, Brother Ed. You're great.
Thank you, Ed.
I'm going to drop